Good afternoon. Here we are on the east side of Congress, the Capitol building, and this is the side that the presidents used to be sworn in on for 150 years until Ronald Reagan in 1981 moved to the other side where we were yesterday, and I showed you where Barack Obama had his inaugural address. So also when we were on our Capitol tour, you may remember the video I showed you of the old Supreme Court chamber. Well, the Supreme Court moved eventually across the street to this lovely building, which you may recognize right here. This is the site of the new Supreme Court chamber. And you can go inside and look around. The Supreme Court here gets 7,000 petitions every year from people describing reasons why their cases may be... sorry, there's a guy screaming over there at some people who left their bag too far away from them. He's a little bit out of control right now. 7,000 cases a year they receive from people from lower courts claiming that the lower courts didn't hear all their claims or were basing their decision on laws that were unconstitutional. The Supreme Court only has time to actually judge 100 of those, so they choose 100 of those cases each year and judge them and make the final Supreme Court decision. So also in this area, this is a very central area, so we have this judicial branch of government, we have the legislative right up over there in the Capitol, and over to the south we have the Library of Congress, a beautiful building on the inside where it used to be that congressional leaders would all go over there to read up on important things that they needed to know about. Of course, now the internet has enabled them to do most of that from the comfort of their offices. And when we look back at the Capitol building, if you look at the north wing there, that is where the House of Representatives sits, and their office buildings are kind of beyond the trees over here. You can't really see them. The other wing, which is behind these trees, the south wing, is where the Senate chambers are, and the Senate office buildings, you can actually see one of them over there kind of to the left, right behind the trees. And there are 3 Senate office buildings, and if you go over to Ron Wyden's building, he can give you a tour of the Capitol. One other thing, kind of an interesting fact, is in Washington, D.C., the Capitol building is the tallest thing in Washington, D.C., and that's a rule. So when you go to downtown Washington, D.C., you don't see any skyscrapers like you normally see in large cities. So it's kind of an interesting city to hang out in. Although it's very bustling and there's lots of famous people all over. In fact, we saw Barack Obama himself just on accident 2 days ago. There's really not a lot of height to the city, so you kind of feel like you're in an open place. It's really nice. Anyway, thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.